Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10th Annual Conference, Easter 2020. Today, Jimmy and I will walk you through the quantum content. And these are our Twitter handles in case you'd like to reach out to us. This is the agenda. We are going to talk about object-orientedness, give you lots of examples and some principles, and something to take home. Let's start with introducing ourselves. I'm Ekaterina Mitova, or Katya. I work at SAP as user assistance developer, which means that I'm a technical writer. And I really believe that you can always improve the things that you're doing.
And I'm Jimmy, as it became obviously. I'm a usability professional. I work at SAP as well. And I myself believe that IT can be usable and one day it will really become usable. Let's not talk about us anymore, but see what we're here for. I want to start with a brief introduction. And the idea here is, in essence, there are two ways to group things in the world. One of them is by place, and the other one is by property. Now, this is, imagine that you have to group several things in the world. In the physical world, you can group them in a single way only. If you have these 5 elements, the red flower here, you can either put with the plants and or flowers, or with the red things. You can't have it at 2 places at the same time. However, in our minds, there's no problem to put one element, one thing, one object at many places. No problem at all. And the same thing is true about the digital world. You can represent a red flower in 2 different lists. This is what I call the quantum object superposition. That is, one object, the same object, can occupy several places at the same time, or be in several states at the same time. Let's look at the live example. This is Gmail. This is my inbox, and I have a message. But at the same time, the same message is in my UX software folder and in my OUX folder. That is, you have the same item in 3 different states and 3 different places. Okay, this was the intro, and I will hand over to Katya to talk about something more interesting, probably.
Okay. I want to ask you to think of one word. No matter what word, just remember that word. You'll see why in a minute. Now, imagine to run. You can't imagine the action without an object, right? Something is running. Now, imagine pink. Again, you need something to apply the color on. Something is pink. Imagine beautiful. Something or someone must be beautiful. Now, remember the word I asked you to think of? From our experience, chances are that this word is more than 75% in the cases an object, either a noun, an abstract noun, or a name. And this illustrates nicely that humans think in objects and exist in places. And what does that mean? We have 3 basic human needs in any place: the need for orientation, the need for consistency, and the need for organization. And we're going to look into these needs in details, starting from the need for orientation. In any place, we need to know what the objects are. Where are they? How many are they? How do they relate to each other? What can I do with them? And what can I do in the place with the objects? And what are the attributes of these objects? And let's take a look at a couple of examples. This is a place inside. This is not your kitchen, but I'm pretty sure you know what to do there. How to make a coffee, how to pour a wine, and so on. This is another place, a place outside. This is a really nice view from our office in Sofia, in Pavlovo. And you can again recognize the objects there, the mountain, the streets, the buildings, the trees, the cars. This is a place in virtuality. This is a virtual game. And even if you are not fond of such games, you still can recognize what's happening here. You have spacecrafts in some sort of a space battle. You're trying to take part in the battle. You have different sorts of guns and probably you'd like to win. This is another example, a place on my computer. This is Outlook. Again, the objects are clear to most of us. We have emails, we know what to do with them, how to manipulate with them, and how to get in contact with other people. Now, can you guess from this example, who are the members? We have this button, Add Members. Who are they? We don't have names. We only have IDs. Are these members people? Maybe. We have the roles, in this case, administrator role. All the entries here have this role. Maybe all these are human. Maybe not. We can't be sure. Imagine this is how your family library looks like. Can you find a book that you're looking for just by looking at the book IDs or author IDs? I doubt that. This is how a book looked like if we used only IDs instead of real names of the titles and the authors. Here, the picture in the cover really helps to have an idea about the content, but not that much. We need the title and the author. And now here comes the need for consistency that Jimmy would walk you through.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we saw how we have this need for recognizing the things. And after we can recognize the things and know what to do with them, we expect that these objects would have certain properties and behavior that we can rely on. Therefore, the need for consistency is a combination of three sub-needs. These are the needs for recognizable appearance. That is, we expect that the objects will always keep familiar look and we will be able to recognize them. We also expect predictable behavior. That means that things that look the same way, we will expect them to behave alike. That is, we also expect that based on the behavior of an object and its appearance, we should be able to predict what we can do with it and how it will how we can use it. And the third sub-need is the need for wholeness, which says that we expect all properties and actions with an object to be there where the object is and to be constantly available. Let's look at some examples to illustrate this better. So first, the recognizable appearance. These are screenshots from services in a product. Both screenshots, the one on the left and one on the right, show a service. But when you look at how the service is presented, they differ. Here we have a description, here we have a service description. Here we have some take action panel, and here we don't have it. Yes, we can recognize this. We can, in our minds, know that these both are services and learn to recognize and to distinguish them, but this is a burden for us as users. It will be much easier for us to have same structure and same appearance for both services. Let's take another example, button. I'm sure you have seen many buttons, and here we have many buttons. And these are all buttons coming from the same product. You can see the variety that we have here in color, shape, size, and so on. And here, everything is supposed to be a button. But is it really? If you look at these green pills, they look like pills, and this is a gray pill. These are not actually buttons. Although they look like buttons, they don't behave like buttons. So this is, again, another speed bump for us as users. When we see this, we have to be able to learn this, and this is confusing when you try to click it and it doesn't react. Let's take another example. This is a survey with 2 questions. We have left the answers on purpose the same. And just by looking at these 2 questions, that they will behave the same way. But let's see what's happening when we start to interact. In the first case, you can click, and when you click, the other option is deselected. But in the second, when you click, the other option remains selected. So these are 2 different types of questions. The first one is single choice. The second one is multiple choice. However, their appearance does not suggest that, and this is confusing again. Now, the next sub-need is the need for predictable behavior. We already saw that based in the survey form. We can't predict the behavior just by the appearance, and this is confusing. So let's look at another example. This is from the SAP Cloud Platform product page on the website of the company. And we want to focus on the area here at the bottom. When you click the first tile here, what we get is another window with another SAP subsite opening in it. Now, when you click the second tile, you already have some expectation that this will open another window, right? And when you click it, well, it's kind of the same, but it's a pop-up. It's not another window. So that's within this window. And when you get to the third tile, you already don't know what to expect when you click it. And you're right, because when you click it, you get the same window, but another subsite. So we have 3 tiles that look the same, but behave differently. And again, this is a nuisance for us. This is an inconvenience. It's much better to have the same behavior. And the principle for wholeness suggests that we expect all properties and all actions to be there where we see the objects, so we can interact with it. And here's a real story that happened to me and my wife some time ago. One day my wife says, I want to delete this. And I'm like, okay, delete it. I can't. How can you not delete this? And she's handing me the phone and says, you delete it. So I get the phone and I say this, and I want to delete this file. And I tried holding the file. I tried clicking the menu here. I tried clicking the menu here. There's no delete option. So I got to the files menu, the menu of the application, and I saw that there are different views. Only when I switched to the downloads view did I see this delete button. This is very bad from a user experience point of view. I wasted so much time trying to delete the file. So whenever the object is, because there's no difference between the object here and the object here, why should there be no delete button here and a delete button here? Go figure. And the point here is, yes, well, we are very flexible, we are very intelligent, we can tolerate a lot of variance. However, less change, less variance means less strains on us as users, and it will allow us to focus on the important things, the things that we want to do, and not on struggling with the UI. Now, the third need that we have in any place is the need for organization. And these needs arise as we gain experience in the domain, not necessarily in the specific application, for example, that we are using. And this need says that we begin to feel the need to arrange the space in such a way that will make sense to us, that will make it easier for us to work. And here we have 4 categories. We need to be able to name the objects and the spaces. We need to be able to group multiple objects together by different traits. We need to be able to relate objects and spaces to each other. And finally, we need to be able to move objects around and groups of objects. Here's an example how Jira does it, and I think it's a perfectly well fitting to this need. Let's look into this. First, Jira allows you to create dashboards. In a dashboard, you can put various charts, tables, that is, pull content that makes sense for a specific task. You can use these dashboards personally. You can share them with other people. Jira allows you to search for various items by almost anything. And more importantly, you can save the searches for later use so that you can access them easier. Jira allows you to control the view in which you look at the items, and you can arrange the columns. You can pull the columns that you want and hide the columns that you don't want. You also can use labels that allow you to later group things and pull only items that carry the specific label. You can create relations among the issues by creating these links and then navigate among various issues very quickly. And of course, you can name things and move things around from project to project or category to category. So again, that's a very good example for covering this need for organization. Now I hand over to Katya again to give you another example.
Yes, this is my favorite example from the content world. We have this platform containing missions, and each and every mission represents a different use case. You get a use case and you need to apply it to in your company, in your team. And here you can find it, well, step by step. But what you can also do here, and it's really, really interesting, when you choose your mission, your use case, and you look into it, you start it, you now can change it, alter it, and personalize it according to your specific needs and situation. And you can change anything that you'd like, even here in the overview page. And the good thing is that only you and the members of your team can see these changes, not the rest of the world. So you're really taking some sort of a content and personalize it. And you can do even more. When you go to the project board, where are the different phases and all the steps and tasks inside these phases, you can do whatever you want to meet your needs, which means that the need for organization is really, really well met here. And look at the different phases now as they are originally put in the mission, because this is what you can do there. Am I showing something? Yes. So what you can do is you can add an entire new phase, because this is what you need there. You can mark the different tasks either as completed or not relevant for you, or you can assign them to a specific member of your team. You can even take a task from one phase and move it to another. You can change the labels, add more, or change them, delete them. You can delete tasks, you can add new tasks, and this is pretty much everything that you need to organize the space according to your needs. And this is really, really great example of having and working with the content. And what we'd like you to take home from our talk today is always remember these basic human needs for any place: the need for Orientation, you need to know and understand the objects, their relations, and their attributes. The need for consistency, you need to rely on the object's appearance, behavior, and wholeness. And the need for organization, you need to be able to organize the space and the place according to your needs, to name the objects, group them, move them, and relate them. And you can't have quantum content, quantum objects without these basic human needs. And we are taking a deep dive in all these three and even more in the object-oriented approach in general at UX Sofia next week. So you're welcome there as well.